Welcome back to AFT Die Season 8. It is round 16. It's the second last round before the finals, Wednesday, the 16th of April, 2025. We've got match of the round, round 16, Giants versus the Cats. That is the first game of the round. Let's get stuck into it. Let's go to the first quarter. As we saw last round, the Giants won by 100 points against St Kilda. First quarter's completed. The Giants have kicked 2-3, the Cats 2-1. So the Giants are 2 points up at quarter time. Let's go to the second quarter of this match. And we've got the Cats. They've kicked 4 goals, 1 to the Giants. 3 goals, 6. And at half time, Giants are up by 1 point. Okay, we've got the third quarter. Let's see who will come on top after the third quarter has completed. Okay, the Giants have kicked 2 goals, 5 to Geelong 2-4, and it is 2 points of difference. The Giants 56 to 54. Let's go to the last quarter to see who will win this game. It's very crucial because if Geelong beats the Giants, then Geelong has a chance of making the top 4. And they have. The Geelong Cats have got up and won this game against the Giants by 18 points. The Giants 10-15-73 to the Cats 14-9-93. All right, let's go to the second match of the round. It's the St Kilda versus Port Adelaide at Marvel Stadium. So the Giants still 2 games clear at the moment, unless Port Adelaide win, and then there'll only be 1 game. Okay, St Kilda first quarter 1-3 to Port Adelaide 1-6. Let's go to the second quarter of this match. Second quarter nearly completed, and the second quarter's completed. St Kilda have kicked 6 goals, 1 to Port Adelaide 4-4. And at half time, St Kilda are up by 6 points, 46 to 40. Go to the third quarter of this game. Third quarter's completed, and St Kilda have kicked 6 goals, 1 to Port Adelaide 4-2. And it's 17 points the difference. St Kilda's way 83 to 66. And let's go to the last quarter to see if the Saints can get over the top of Port Adelaide. Yes, they can. St Kilda have won by 10 points. The final score, St Kilda 14-6-90 to Port Adelaide 11-14-80. So the top 2 contenders have lost in round 16. Let's go to the next game. It's Richmond versus Sydney Swans at the MCG. First quarter. Richmond have kicked 1 goal, 4 to Sydney Swans 4-3. So the Sydney Swans are 17 points up, 27 to 10. Sydney, they want to get in the top 4, so they need to win. Second quarter completed. Richmond, they've kicked 5 goals, 6 to Sydney, 3 goals, 4. And at half time, Sydney are up by 3 points, 49-46. Let's go to the third quarter of this game. Richmond, they want to win as well. So the Sydney Swans have kicked 6 goals, 5 after half time to Richmond 2-1. And at three-quarter time, Sydney are up by 31 points, 90-59. So Sydney looks like they've got the win here against the Richmond Tigers. Last quarter, yes, the Sydney Swans have won by 31 points. Richmond's final score 14-12-96 to Sydney 19-13-127. So that puts Sydney in fifth spot, Richmond down to seventh. Okay, let's go to the next game. It is Carlton versus Western Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium. First quarter's completed. Carlton, they've kicked 4 goals, 6 to Western Bulldogs, 1-4. 10. Carlton are up by 20 points. Let's go to the second quarter of this game. And the second quarter's completed. We've got Carlton kicking 5 goals, 1 to the Western Bulldogs, 2-3. And at halftime, Carlton are up by 36 points. Let's go to the third quarter of this game. Geelong in third spot. Now, third quarter completed. Carlton have kicked 5 goals, 1 to Western Bulldogs, 1-6. And Carlton, they are up by 55 points. Let's go to the last quarter of this game. Now, Carlton, they win with a big margin. They will be in the 8. So Carlton have won by 47 points. Final score, Carlton 18-9, 117 to Western Bulldogs 9-16, 70. All right, and that puts Carlton in the top 8 for now. Let's go to the next game. It is Gold Coast versus Fremantle. First quarter completed, 4 goals, 4 apiece, 28 points. Level after quarter time. Let's go to the second quarter of this game. Gold Coast versus Fremantle at Metricon Stadium. Second quarter completed. We've got Gold Coast kicking 6 goals, 5 to Fremantle 1-3. And at halftime, Gold Coast are up by 32 points. Third quarter, Gold Coast have kicked 3 goals, 1 to Fremantle 3-2. And we've got Fremantle down by 31 points, 57-88. Let's go to the last quarter of this game. Last quarter, Gold Coast, they've kicked 1 goal, 1 to Fremantle 5-1. So Fremantle tried to come back, but in the end, Gold Coast have won by 7 points. Final score, Gold Coast 14-11-95 to Fremantle 13-10-88. Well, that puts Fremantle in 6th spot. Gold Coast, they're in 10th. So few teams in the top 8, a bit shaky before the finals. Collingwood versus Essendon, next game at the MCG. We've got the first quarter completed. Collingwood have kicked 4 goals, 6 to Essendon 5-2. Essendon are trying to win after 2 massive losses. Second quarter is complete. Collingwood have kicked 1 goal, 6 to Essendon 1-4. And at half time, it is level 42 apiece. Let's go to the third quarter to see who will jump out and get a handy lead going into the last quarter. We've got Collingwood kicking 6 goals, 3 to Essendon 2-5. And Collingwood are up by 22 points. Let's go to the last quarter. Essendon don't want to lose another game. That will be 3 in a row. We've got Essendon. They've kicked 5 goals, 4 to Collingwood 3-2 in the last quarter. But in the end, Collingwood have won by 8 points at the MCG. So Essendon have lost 3 games in a row. So Collingwood final score 14-17, 101 to Essendon 13-15, 93. All right, let's go to the next game. It is Adelaide Crows versus Melbourne at Adelaide Oval. Adelaide, they need a win to cement their spot in the 8. After the first quarter, it's 1-1 apiece. Let's go to the second quarter for this game. Second quarter completed. We've got Melbourne. They've kicked 2 goals, 2 to Adelaide 1-2. And at half time, it is Adelaide 15, Melbourne 21. So Melbourne up by 6 points. Very low scoring in the first half. Third quarter. We've got Adelaide 5-5 to Melbourne 5-6. So Melbourne at 3-quarter time are up by 7 points, 57-50. Let's go to the last quarter for this game. Adelaide need to win. That's all they need to do. But they couldn't. Melbourne, they got the job done by 6 points. They kicked 1 goal, 3 to Adelaide 1-4. So low scoring. We've got Adelaide final score 8-12-60 to Melbourne 9-12-66. All right. So that puts Melbourne in 13th spot. Adelaide, they've got one more chance to try and make the top 8. All right. So they're in 9th at the moment. All right. So let's go to the next game. It is Brisbane versus Hawthorn at the Gabba. Brisbane, they're in 3rd last. They've got no chance of making the top 8. We've got Hawthorn. They've come out of the blocks. They've kicked 5 goals, 131 to Brisbane, 1-5-11. Let's go to the second quarter. Hawthorn are on a bit of a winning streak. Hawthorn, they've kicked 2 goals, 5 to 1-3 for Brisbane. Halftime, Hawthorn are up by 28 points, 48-20. Let's go to the third quarter for this game. Second last game of the round. We've got Brisbane. They've kicked 2 goals, 4 to Hawthorn, 1-3. And at 3-quarter time, Brisbane are down by 21 points, 36-57. Let's go to the last quarter of this game. Hawthorn in the end have taken this win. Hawthorn, they've got a 19-point win. They've kicked 1 goal, 2 to Brisbane, 1-4 in that last quarter. Low scoring Brisbane and Hawthorn. Final scores, Brisbane 5-16-46 to Hawthorn 9-11-65. All right, so that puts Hawthorn with looks like 2 in a row. All right, let's go to the last game of the round. It is North Melbourne versus West Coast Eagles. It's the bottom two. Um, Now, West Coast, they need to have a big win against North Melbourne. So let's get it started at Marvel Stadium. First quarter nearly completed. We've got the first quarter completed. North Melbourne kicking 4 goals, 5 to West Coast 1-2. 21 points the difference to North Melbourne. North Melbourne win today. West Coast have got the wooden spoon. Second quarter, we've got West Coast. They've kicked 6 goals to North Melbourne 3-6. And at half time, North Melbourne are just up by 7 points, 53 to 46. Let's go to the third quarter for this game. Third quarter, North Melbourne, they've kicked 5 goals, 4 to West Coast, 3 goals, 3. And at three-quarter time, North Melbourne are up by 20 points, 87 to 67. Let's go to the last quarter of this game. North Melbourne win today. West Coast have got the wooden spoon. And in the end, North Melbourne have won by 38 points. They kicked 6 goals, 4 to West Coast, 3-4. And in the end, North Melbourne have won, and West Coast have got the wooden spoon for season 8. North Melbourne, final score 18-19, 127 to West Coast, 13-11, 89. Well, that concludes round 16. Brisbane are second last, so they won't get the wooden spoon. But West Coast, they've got the wooden spoon for season 8. The Giants, well, they've got the minor premiership with 2 games clear, so there's only 1 game left for the before the finals. So the Giants have got the minor premiership, and West Coast have got the wooden spoon. Well, that concludes round 16. Well, we've got Sydney #1 offense team and the Giants the #1 defense team. And at the moment, Carlton, Gold Coast, Hawthorn, and Melbourne have got the biggest winning streak of 2. And the match of the round for round 17 is Port Adelaide versus Geelong. So it's second versus third going into the finals. They may play each other come finals time. All right, we'll see you next time for round 17 on Sunday, the 20th of April, 2025. We'll see you then.